This morning in North Carolina, wheels are spinning. Determination is winning. A passion is now a thriving business, and it shows no signs of slowing down. How? The power of a conversation, like the one Clint Spiegel had with First Horizon Bank about starting a bike wheel manufacturing facility in Asheville. Now it's not just talk, it's rubber meets road. First Horizon Bank. Let's find a way. Go to firsthorizon.com/Clint. First Horizon Bank, member FDIC.
They say marketing is a madman's game. So now we turn it over to the Marketing Madman with Nick Constantino and Trip Job on Extra 106.3 FM.
Hello and welcome to a Marketing Madmen special edition. Today we got Chris Williams here and we are talking, and I know it's been talked about to exhaustion, but we are talking about the Google algorithm leak. And the reason we are doing it is because there are a lot of articles and there's a lot of content out there. However, nobody speaks any English and makes it easy for real world people to apply these principles and how they can use it. So Chris, you've dealt with the audience before. Real quick, give them your qualifications, let them know who you are, what you do, so it could frame why we're having this conversation.
Hi, my name is Chris Williams. I owner of Elite Web Professionals, a SEO company based in Atlanta, Georgia. 14 years optimizing websites, 300% success rate, over 300 websites, 100% success rate to get my clients ranked on the first page, and 100% success rate to getting them leads.
Yeah, and everybody wants that. Nobody knows how to do that. So what Chris has taught me is it is in Google's advantage to stay ahead of the curve and be changing things so quickly so nobody can keep up with the pace of change they're doing. So you got guys like Chris who are spinning around in circles trying to find out every little advantage, could get these businesses. And the hardest part is most of these business owners don't understand the language and he's speaking. So that there's so many levels of telephone being played. So Google
Trying to make it easy.
Google leaked. So staff or internal, whatever it was, leaked this algorithm leak. And to be clear, everything Google does is based off a set of codes and algorithms that have evolved in the past 30 years to be this, what we see as Google today. So everything from where you rank, what's good content, how they stop AI from coming in, how they make sure that they're optimizing the amount of money they make, all of these different pieces. So what was it, about 600 pages of code and actual details leaked. And it's taken now almost 2 or 3 months for people to decipher the code of the algorithm with the other algorithms, which made people see this and this. Right. So we're here. So talk a little bit about top line of how big of a deal this was and the scale of things. Talk about to whose advantage this leak was, and then we can kind of go into some of the nuances of things you picked up from it.
Well, you know, it was huge. The first thing was it real, right? I mean, you know, all the SEOs and experienced web designers didn't believe that it was actually real. There was this, you know, is this something that we can verify?
And this is like the recipe for KFC. This is kind of stuff that's back this is the shit that's in a code, in a safe, in a thing where like 3 dudes with keys open up. This is not what willy-nilly. There's no low-level people here that have access to this stuff. This is pretty high-level stuff.
And, you know, and once they kind of got the idea and they say, okay, this is real, it's like, oh, is this everything, right? And so that's what we don't know. We don't know if this covers everything. We don't know if this is current. We don't know if this is how things are going now, but we have an idea, at least at one point, fairly recent, this is some of the factors that Google used to determine which websites are the best websites.
And you can, to some extent, reverse engineer to figure this stuff out, but it is nowhere near seeing the actual codes and the algorithms and the explanations, right?
So what was found was a lot of the things that we saw in this leak were things that we already knew.
Okay.
Now, before, they were, you know, theories and you know, ideas, and we put websites together and we had these ideas. So the leak kind of told us that the things that you thought were real. And in some cases, we were told that things didn't matter. For example, link building. They were saying that, you know, link building is not as big of a factor anymore. You're going to be focused more on content. And in a lot of ways, you can see that the content on your page, link building is not as strong as it once was back in the early, you know, the 2011, 2012. But you can see based off of this leak that Google is still looking at link building as a way of determining the authority of a web page.
Yeah, and I have to imagine, just because I'm one of the people they reach out to, I get links of people wanting to link back to me all the time.
Correct.
So when someone finds a way to defeat something, it's in Google's best interest to change the priority of that algorithm, because if there's everyone out there just taking advantage, then you're gaming the system. And in theory, they're trying to avoid the gaming of the system.
Well, what's happened here in the last, you know, 6 months or so, and when in our first, you know, show together, one of the things I talked about is optimizing your content again. So if you look at the first page of Google, a lot of the content is fresh content. even the evergreen content, the users have gone in and they've optimized it again, or it's a new website that's coming in, rewritten the same concept, but they're presenting it on an authoritative website, and they've now taken over that first position on Google. So that's really one of the biggest updates is that it's not just the amount of links your page has, because obviously the older page will probably have more links, but it's the new content that is actually, talking about current events, talking about current issues related to that particular topic that is being ranked higher for these particular search queries.
Yeah.
So updating your content right now.
And we had this conversation, but there's also mechanisms to avoid AI with that content, right? So it is unique, exclusive content. It is topical. It is relevant. But you can't be going out there and expecting, if you're posting the same thing 500 people, are you going to get the same kind of authority from it?
So, that was something that was uncovered in this leak, is how they are by default, fighting against the AI, because the information that's being placed on Google's from AI on individuals' websites is just, regurgitated content from someone else's site. And so if you just don't make any changes to that content, and you'll post 10 or 20 pages of the same, regurgitated information on a website, you're not going to rank. And this leak proved that. You just can't take a website, plug AI to it, and publish it and think that you're going to get a ton of traffic.
That's a simple argument we've had many times, right? That the inputs in the AI matter. The outputs are not the thing. If you're creating custom content that is new and that is breaking ground, and then you're using the AI to help distribute and repurpose that content, that's different than saying, scour the internet, find me some stuff, and post it to my website.
Right.
Okay.
So the input, so to speak, is the prompt. You include your DNA, your information, your unique talent, your unique skills, your unique information, your specialty, right? When you put your information into the prompt, then it will create a unique response, and that is valuable to the internet. If you just have the internet, have AI just create random posts about whatever it wants to talk about, and just have it automatically post to your website based off of what was in the leak, that is going to be frowned upon, and it actually can harm your website in the long run.
Yeah.
One of the major things that they're looking at is how user-friendly your website is, and how people engage with your website, which was huge. What do people do when they land on your site, right? Are they clicking back, going to Google to do the search again? Or are they clicking through the website trying to get more information?
Sure, and you're talking things like bounce rate and engagement and engaged sessions, and those are all metrics that Google Analytics will explain to you that exist.
And guess how they're finding that out? How are they determining what a person is doing once they land on the website?
They're expecting you to have Google Analytics connected so they can measure everything, and then they can go back and sell to you on the back end, and it's a big money machine.
Who would have known that they were actually using Google Analytics to determine what users do when they land on your website? So again, if you're looking for SEO, you likely would need to put Google Analytics on your website. And it's, in your benefit, if you're doing a good job with your website and you are making sure that your website is user-friendly, is giving customers the information that they need, you understand what they're searching for, you understand the value that your website has, then they're going to do what you say to do. So having a call to action, you want them to call you, you want them to fill out a form, you want them to buy, you want them to subscribe. You have a call to action. When that person does what you ask them to do, that conversion is a signal to the search engine that they found the information that they were looking for on your website, and it actually is a reason.
Now, let me ask you this question. Let's say you're not ready to buy yet, but you're going in and you're engaging with content and articles and watching videos. That still counts as an engagement because you're still giving convenient information that's available to people, right? It may not be rewarded the same way as the action of click to call, but they still want you to look at videos and want you to engage with blogs. That hasn't changed that much. Maybe just the priority has?
So I'm going to go off script a little bit, and I'll answer that question by saying the links that you provide on your page also is a conversion. So I'll explain. If you have a word that you introduce on your page that a person may need to get further information from, that you will hyperlink that page to send them to another page within your website.
Yep.
That's them going deeper into your site.
And you know what? I found that in WordPress that it rewards you for both internal and external links to your own page.
That is also a conversion, so to speak, because
that's like navigation. That's internal navigation. So instead of going to the top to find it, it's redirecting you internally.
So you're now showing showing Google that, hey, listen, I understand if someone's reading my information that they may need to get information about this because they might not have never seen this before. They may not understand it. So I'm going to hyperlink this to go to the next page. If they click on that, again, Google, I'm showing you that I understand what they're looking for, and I'm taking them down the road. They can't get all the information they need just for this one page, so I'm going to send them down this system of keywords and phrases so they can get the information.
So now this is all making a little bit more sense because, as you know, with my website, I've been playing a lot with Elementor and WordPress to kind of figure this out, and it does a lot of this for you. It's telling you, like, you need to have your URL match your keywords here, and then it's saying internal links give you this bonus in your SEO score, and it's all doing that based on what it knows about these algorithms.
Very good, yes.
Right? What these algorithms are. So that's why WordPress has succeeded from all these other countless websites, because in real time, it's telling you what you need to do, and the more advanced and the more you know how to play with it, the more you can design within these parameters.
WordPress gives you a ton of advantages when it comes to giving you more traffic. It gives you so many different features and access to plugins that are not available on other website tools. You're talking about the SEO plugin like Yoast or All-in-One SEO that kind of gives you their quote-unquote recipe to get on the first page.
And it's a score out of 100, right? If you're in the green, you're over 70, your chance of this catching on. And again, there's other parameters and variables. Traffic still has to come, but your odds of someone finding you are there.
They try to cover some of the heavy parameters. They are very good. They help very well. The main tool that I'll tell you is if you just understand what the person, it's important to make sure you have your title. It's important to have your H1, your meta description, have all your pictures labeled with alt text. You want to make sure that the information on your page answers the exact title. So if you have a title about baseball bats, you want to have the exact information on your page. Talk about baseball bats. Don't talk about the game of baseball. Don't talk about pitching. How you have to talk specifically about baseball bats. On that particular page. Now,
I can see why that's exhausting and why people don't like it, because that's exhausting. For every page, the bigger your company is, the more things you have to do. The more
talk about that one topic. Don't get distracted and start talking about how to use the bat. That's not the page for that. That page is only about the baseball bats, right? Now, the better job you can of sticking to that topic, and then when it's time to transition to another page, because you're now talking about another topic, you now hyperlink that to go to another page that gets more in depth. So if you start talking about the material that the bat is made out of, and why this is a reason to buy, or those types of factors, that's how you hyperlink it to go to the next page, because you're now getting off topic what you came to our page for.
So let me ask this question. So hypothetically, the way you're saying, if you're a better baseball, who all they've done is baseball for their entire existence, and you may have the content, you may have the expertise, but Dick's Sporting Goods has got way better people doing this work to optimize these pages. That's why these companies that may be better at these niche markets are disappearing, because Dick's has more money to put into this to make sure that their pages are optimized so people find, and Google rewards that.
I think that a lot of times they just don't create the pages. I've been doing this for 14 years. People still building 10-page websites. You're just not going to cut it with 10-page websites anymore. You have to actually make sure that you create a landing page for every product that you have.
And to be clear, it is okay for a user to think that there are 10 pages.
Absolutely.
But it's not okay, because sometimes you're like, I don't know why this thing has so many pages. I don't need 500 pages. But all you're saying is that when you're on something, and if you're going to go to the next topic or something similar, that is going to a different page, because that page itself is optimized for the thing in which you're searching. That's for indexing.
First question I get when I tell people to create more pages, like, what is a page? Where are all these pages? I'm not talking about the pages in your header menu, not the home, the about. I'm not talking about those pages. I'm talking about when you go into your website, you have a page that answers and defines certain things, certain products that you have. You have a dedicated
based on the
page.
parameters in which they came into the site for.
Correct.
If they came in for, I want to learn about baseball, and you're sending them to lacrosse, you've missed out. And that's meta tagging, that's description, name, even the URL apparently is important. They want to have keywords in the URL, I found out.
So every aspect of your page is a signal to Google as to what your page is about. So having, like in that example, the page about baseball bats, your URL, your file name should be baseball bats. So it's in line with the title.
Sports.com/baseball bats. And there's no, anyone can use those backslashes. Those are forward slash.
So the key is if you have a store, every product that you own should have its own page. Its own page should have its own title, its own description. It should have a picture of that product. It should have, if you have a video, it should have all the descriptions and the reason why someone will buy. It may have a frequently asked questions about it. And now with AI, right, you have the ability to do all this way faster than even a year ago now. No matter what product
the amount
you
of
have,
time you save with AI should make you to make better content.
Which has made it so much more competitive, because now the small guy doesn't have to pay a writer to describe their products. they can actually take a picture of their product themselves with their own camera. Now their iPhone.
Yeah.
They can upload that picture to their WordPress website. They can now create the description, which is a name. You can differentiate your products by colors. So if you have a black baseball bat, right now instead of it just being baseball bat, it's a black baseball bat. You can use the length of the bat as a descriptor.
Yeah.
And now you make that your title, make that your description, and then you define all of that information in your copy. Make sure you have a picture of that. You label the picture as your alt tag. And then you want to do the same thing with your file name. And that's what gives you an opportunity. But the better job you can do of making your information unique and having all the information related to that product, then you have a chance to get on that first page of Google.
So the way that I've kind of seen this to be is that Google is trying to take the fakers out of this. The people who are not serious about it, the people who don't want to put the work in, because it requires work, effort, or money, one of those things to make this thing work. So I found it fascinating. I do think, though, that we've gotten technical, which I was trying to avoid, and we've went down a rabbit hole of just kind of screaming at people, like, figure this ish out yourself. But let's take a step.
Hopefully somebody can find.
Let's take a step back. What 3 pieces of advice would you give if somebody who's like, dude, I don't know what a word you said just meant, but I know that my website is not where I want it to be. Okay. Based on that algorithm, what 2 or 3 pieces of advice would you give someone of where to start so they feel a little bit more confident? Because sometimes it's a confidence thing.
Service-based businesses, I think that, a lot of people are in service. If you have a service-based business, well, I would start with just creating your website and making sure that every service you have, you create a page for it. Okay, that's one of the most important things. You need to have a page, not just a services page where you list all of the things that you do. You need to have a landing page, an individual page showing the service that you provide as well as the location that you're servicing. So if you're located in Marietta.
And what level of services, right? The plumber is too broad.
Correct.
Right? But plumber that installs fixtures outside is too specific. So what kind of things? So
if you are a plumber, you probably, fix water heaters. Now, a person may have a water heater burst. They might have a
water heater, burst pipe.
They might need a new water heater installation.
So pretty high level things, but
you might
more
have a
broad
page for frozen frozen pipes.
Got it. Okay, got it.
You also need to have a page for emergency plumber.
Right. So you're things that people would search for. Busted pipe. No one's searching plumber. They wrote busted pipe.
They're searching
for example. Okay.
So in that example, correct. So a person would typically search for their problem. So if I have a problem with my water heater, I'm going to search for a water heater in my area, water heater company in my area.
I'm seeing the web page out in front of me and where you have to be to get the. Keep going.
When it comes up. So then you're going to actually, think of the problems. So you're probably going to need to look up leak detection. Have a page dedicated to leak detection. You're going to have a page for toilet repair, a separate page for toilet installation. Those are 2 separate services.
Got it.
You're going to have a page talking about, that you install things. What do you install? The things that you repair, and you just go down the list. So that website starts to get really large. You'll find yourself creating 50 pages if you create a page for each of your services.
Each page is with the same template. You're changing things, but not drastically. Your core mission doesn't change. You're just changing specific information so Google indexes that page so it finds you.
So you're right. So the pages can look the same, but they're going to have a picture that to show the person that they landed on the right page.
Sure, a how-to video, or this is something that's wrong, something along those lines.
If you're a service business, you may not want to give them a how-to, but you can just give them a picture of the service and then information as if you are having a problem, if you see water on your floor, then your water heater is probably done. You probably need a new water heater.
Yeah,
right?
Get help now.
It's time,
because you're going to destroy your house if you don't get it.
Your water heater's done now.
All right.
Call us. We'll come out.
That makes sense. Let me ask you this question.
You give them the symptoms, and then the solution will give you a call.
When you Google that and you go to a site, is it going to that landing page or is it going to the home page?
It's going to go directly to that page on your website that you created. And it's something really important when I talk about this, because when people ask, do you put it in your header menu? If you have a services page on your website, that will be the page where you link to these pages, right? So now you have a home, about us, services. You may feature 2 of your main services.
Got it.
So let's say water heater and leak detection are your 2 main services in your header menu. Then you got your blog and you
Got it.
That's the only thing at your top. But then your services page, you will have an additional 50 pictures, small icons, and say, I provide.
Got it.
All these different.
You don't want to confuse people, but you want to show that you have the skill to handle the different things.
You can put a picture of it, or you can put the word of the service, and then you can hyperlink that word, and now they're landing on the page for that particular service. And then when they do a Google search, they land on that page, not the home page.
Yeah, that's freaking.
Is that too technical?
That's freaking it's freaking exhausting. It's not technical. It's exactly right. And again, as I've learned to do this, you see the web forming and why this is all important, right? You have to catch anybody at any point in their journey in the web, bring them back to your core missions. They're going to look at your reviews and everything. But if you don't have mechanisms to catch them at those different parts, they're never going to come to the main site.
So what's the alternative? You don't create the pages, and now you just do pay-per-click, right? You're stuck with doing only paid. Well, what happens is you do pay-per-click today, you're paying $10 a click, and 2 years from now, you got twice as many advertisers. What are your costs?
You're going to drive them up.
Your costs are going up, so now you're paying twice as much money.
And you're pretty much hoping that your competitor folds or stops advertising.
But he just folds and another one comes in. Now your costs are going up on your paid side, and now you're trying to figure out, how do I pay my employees, pay my team, but my cost of advertising has just doubled, right? So what you do is you have part of your investment in your paid side and part of your investment in your organic side. You want to have some visibility.
Yeah. I personally think that we think about SEO wrong, and I think SEO should be an operational cost like paying your power bill versus being a marketing cost, because you can't market if your SEO is broken. You shouldn't market without having your SEO. And it's actually one of our biggest frustrations at the radio station is, if you have a good SEO guy, we should be having these kind of conversations so those similar keywords are matched in the radio station. I know what markets I cover. So maybe you should be, hey, and if you're in Alpharetta, we have this. These mechanisms should be working together. They never do, which is why I'm glad we have these conversations.
Companies will, you look on the internet, and one of the things that I've learned I just do not like is all you have to do, right? You go on Instagram, they tell you can get an AI app to put on your website, and all you have to do is plug it, and it's going to create all these pages for you. You're going to rank on the first page. The leak just showed us that doesn't work.
Yeah.
I have access.
It's got to pull that information from somewhere, which means it's being deducted.
Access to the same AI tools that you have. Yeah. If I could create that, and still I'll rank you if I wanted to, but I don't. It's dangerous, and it can actually harm your website more than it can help. So you're going to create the information yourself. You're going to be strategic of adding the right information. But if you do that and it doesn't work, now you're saying SEO doesn't work. And so now you feel like the industry is a scam and you can't get it to rank, when it's not true. These companies are spending millions and millions of dollars, and they're getting millions of results. Millions of dollars in return. I have personally made my clients millions of dollars in a year just by optimizing their website and getting them on the first page for just basic terms that people search for every day. And if you apply it, if you try, and you make an investment with a company that's reputable, then you can get great results right now.
And look, I think people have to hold you accountable, and they have to know enough to be dangerous, right? If you walk into a meeting with an SEO and you can't have this basic level of conversation, I'm not saying this is basic. Like, I'm probably on a scale of 1 to 10, a 3 or a 4 of my knowledge. But if you go in at 1, you're dead. You have to know enough, or ask enough questions, or have enough trust in your person to get answers. Like, when I ask you, it's not for you to do it. It's because I want to learn to do it myself. Because you know what? 6 months later, you're already 5 steps ahead of where I was. Then that's 6 months. Imagine a year, 2 years passes. Send them to a good website to check out one you've done that you're proud of, that's really working. Because let's put some practical application here.
Oh, man, I've done so many. TimelessLuxury.com, #1 website that if you looking to buy or sell Rolex watches in Atlanta.
Thomas Luxury.
Timeless
Luxury.com
is a website, beautiful website. They do a phenomenal job, great watches. Garage Door, all Four Seasons Garage Doors, located in Atlanta. They #1 garage.
And look, our listeners know Dan sold, so you must have been doing something right to help Homeboy sell. So those are good signs, right?
Absolutely,
that's a good sign.
Total Massage Gun, the #1 massage gun company in Atlanta, growing massage gun brand in the nation. And Choice Signature Luxury Rental, located here in Atlanta.
Great.
Fast-growing luxury rental car company that's expanding in the Atlanta market as well. So, but I've done over 300 websites. Every website I've built over the past year has done 6 figures. I have multiple websites that hit 7 figures over the past 12 months. So I'm really excited about what we've been able to do for our clients, and just kind of walk them through step by step on what they can do to make money right now. Websites that are around for 12 months or longer, I'm seeing them, they can get ranked on the first page within 30 days.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that wasn't happening before, but because of Google trying to update information so quickly because of AI, there's an opportunity now where you can get high visibility in 30 to 60 days where that wasn't as likely before. Now, that's going to come with great reviews. Now, that's one of the things that came up as well in the league, that they are looking at factors like what type of rating that you have, because that is also
there's caveats there, because I'm seeing a lot of people who are losing reviews right and left because they're bot generated and they're fake reviews. So they're finding ways to
Google
catch
has
those.
found how to fake. Don't buy any fake reviews. Those who are just going to get found and going to get deleted. Whatever they charge you, just waste your money. But the reviews that websites with the positive reviews that are showing that they are the best in their industry based off of the results they do for their clients, they tend to perform better organically.
Yeah, and look, this shouldn't be new news to anybody, right?
Exactly.
These are you're rewarding good behavior and doing business the right way. They shouldn't be rocket science. So, I think one of the things business owners have massive egos. Every one of them, they believe that they're doing things the right way. And one of the things I love about Google Analytics or this stuff is like, there's no read between the lines. It's black and white. Like, look, I'm not telling you you're doing wrong. Google is saying you're doing it wrong. And what do you want to do? Are you binging anything? Are you freaking like Soviet Ichnika anything? No, you're Googling it. So maybe you should play in those parameters.
Absolutely.
Well, dude, I think as usual, this has been great. Tell them how to find you. Tell them the social handles and everything.
You can find me on my website at www.advertisingbusiness.org, on Instagram at Chris Williams Inc. My company is Elite Web Professionals. My name is Christopher Williams.
And to all you other Googles out there, make some more freaking leaks so we could have some more of these conversations. Peace.
It's Christmas in July at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, and that means D. Geller Diamond Dollars are back. All month long, earn 20% back on any in-store purchase towards anything in the store. Get yourself a beautiful new gold necklace, diamond earrings, or a new timepiece, and save up those diamond dollars to buy a loved one a Christmas gift later. Christmas in July at D. Geller & Son is the perfect opportunity to get more value for your summer shopping. So come shop with Atlanta's favorite jeweler, D. Geller & Son, this summer in Atlanta, Kennesaw, and Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Tonight in Arkansas, there's a mother tucking in her daughter and turning off the light. A business owner is burning the midnight oil. An at-home dinner date is plating up possibility. And it's all happening under one roof. How? The power of a conversation, like the one John from Integrity Solutions had with First Horizon Bank about his vision for a sustainable mixed-use building. Now it's not just words, it's life. First Horizon Bank. Let's find a way. Go to firsthorizon.com/John. First Horizon Bank, member FDIC.
Hey sandwich lovers, today's your lucky day. There's a whole new way to roll for lunch or dinner delight with Nucky's Hoagies in the Roswell Corners Shopping Center. Now open. Nucky's Hoagies in Roswell is family owned and operated by the Sub-Sisters, Stacy and Shannon, whose love language is food, and Nucky's Hoagies, their passion. When you bite into a Nucky's Hoagie, you'll taste the difference. The softest hoagie rolls ever, along with hunger-quenching sandwich combinations. Make Nucky's Hoagies in Roswell on Woodstock Road your new favorite spot for lunch or dinner.